getting focused. So she's opening up the competition, first competitor on the runway. Very eccentric personality too, with her celebrations. So not quite ready.
So Natoya Gould-Toppin, who also attended Clemson University, posting a video a day or so ago of Shante Foreman a couple of years ago with Gould's NCAA winning trophy and practicing for how she would celebrate when she finally won one. And Natoya said she promised her that she would release that video when she won her NCAA title. And of course she did exactly that last weekend. There she is, Shante Foreman, to get the women's triple jump final underway. A new champion will be crowned because there's no Shanika Ricketts here this year. And Foreman will be looking to get off to a good start. Nice and tall and rangy, just what you want for the triple. Loses it close to the board, but manages to recover well enough to get a legal effort in to start her campaign. The flag is white. So she will get a mark on the board to start the women's triple jump competition.
Yes. So waiting the mark.
The Jamaican record held at 15.16 meters. Trisha K. Smith, the world champion 2005. Two Jamaicans have gone over 15 meters in the history of this sport, with Shanika Ricketts the other. Akeelia Smith is the fourth best Jamaican all time. There she is with her lifetime best of 14.54, with the outstanding Kimberly Williams, the third best Jamaican all time, with 14.69. And the performance by Shante Foreman, 14.24 this season, has vaulted her into the number 6 position all time for Jamaican women in this event. So we are looking at two all-time top 10 performers for Jamaica in the competition. Here is Smith, flies down the runway. Oh, beautiful technique into the sand. Was really patient there. And for a second thought that left leg would be left trailing, but managed to pull it through. Lovely jumping from the long jump winner 2 days ago. Akeelia Smith starts well in the women's triple jump final.
Yes, she's very deceptive in her height. She's very compact, very powerful through the phases. Akeelia Smith, very consistent jumper as well. There she goes on the runway. Look at those legs. Very powerful athlete. Hits the board. Lots of room to spare. Great extension into the pit. A great first effort for her, as she takes a look with her coach, Kerry Ricketts, at that effort.
Akeelia Smith has gone really well the last 4 seasons. 3 of the last 4 seasons, she has jumped over 14 meters and 50 centimeters. This season, her best 14.50. Last year, 2025, was the only year she didn't get to the 14.50 mark, with a 14.44 season best, 14.52 in 2024, 14.54 2023. She'll want to improve on that personal best, thinking that it is all of 3 years old at the moment.
Yes, and sometimes when you're consistent around the mark, you know that a big jump is coming. So she's been hovering around the 14.50 mark for the last couple of seasons, and she looks good. She's getting better and better and building up to the form that she was. I saw her jump over 7 meters when she left the NCAA system.
So 2 jumps out the way in the opening round. We'll endeavor to get you those distances as soon as possible. That's 13.67. The mark for Akeelia Smith. There's competitor 294, Jaden Dawkins, just 20 years old. First year out of the high school system, where she was at St. Jago representing Kansas State. Has done a personal best this season, 13.31. That was indoors. Has competed sparingly since. That's going to be a foul. Gets the red flag. but looked like a pretty good execution for the 20-year-old.
Looked a bit conservative on the runway, but we'll see if we get to have another look at it. There's our coach, Clive Pullen, former jumper for Kingston College and the University of Arkansas.
Yeah, the highest point scorer in the history of champs for Kingston College. Did so many events. You speak about the jumps, but he also did the discus for Kingston College. So many people forget that. Boy, he was multi-talented. Here's Michaela Linton now, the final competitor in the first round of the women's triple jump final. First track event of our broadcast, scheduled for 3:35, will be the semi-finals of the under-18 girls 200 meters. Michaela Linton, nice and easy down the runway. That's going to be a foul again, I think. Looked pretty close. No, she gets the white flag.
There she is down the runway. Nice and relaxed. Sprinting. Good on the board.
Yeah.
Gets a legal jump in on the first attempt.
Yeah, 13.11 meters. That puts her into second position. Akila Smith leading after the first round with 13.67. And Shantae Foreman in third now, 13.01. With Jaden Dawkins fouling her first round effort.
She's having a chat with her coach, Mario Satena.
Yeah, wind assisted performance though, 4.0 meters per second, the wind speed on the 13.11 for Michaela Linton. All the other efforts have been wind legal. Foreman's 13.01, positive 1.8 meters per second, and Smith's 13.67 into a negative 0.0 meters per second wind. So round one out the way in the women's triple jump final. Linton's personal best 13.57. So we'll be hoping for a lifetime best performance here.
She comes in at joint number 4 with Jaden Dawkins for the season. They've both jumped 13.31 meters.
It is a small field, so I suspect they're giving them a little bit more time during rounds than they otherwise might have had. Just 4 competitors in the lineup. It's been a steady diet of real quality for Jamaican women in this event for the last 20 to 30 years. Suzette Lee, who jumped 14.25, and Trisha K. Smith came through at around the same time. Trisha K. Smith blossomed into one of the world's best. Led the Olympic final in Athens 2004 before she was relegated into 4th position, even though she had jumped over 15 meters. It was a remarkable competition in Athens. And then a year later went on to win the world title, beating Tatiana Lebedeva, who was one of the top female jumpers in the world for close to a decade. The Russian who not only did the triple but also was highly successful in the long jump, probably one of the most successful long triple jumpers of her era or ever.
I remember watching Trisha K. Smith and thinking, ooh, I want to try that. And then I was like, yeah, no.
She was a remarkable competitor. Trisha K. Smith made it to the Olympic final in 2008 as well. But that Helsinki performance in 2005 defining a career that truly was special. And then, of course, as Trisha K. Smith was on her way out, Kimberly Williams was making her way in Commonwealth Games champion and multiple world and Olympic finals, world indoor medals. And then as Kimberly Williams started to make her way out, Shanika Ricketts started to make her way in. And now we have another group of youngsters coming through. And I'm not suggesting that Shanika Ricketts is making her way out, because she's shown that she is still competing at a very high level. Here is Shantae Foreman for her second round in the women's triple jump final. First round effort, 13.01 meters. She is in third position at the moment. It wasn't the cleanest jump first time. Gets a little bit of support from the fans. Settles herself in. The NCAA champion eases down the runway. Probably had a look down at the board and stalled her momentum going into the plant. Gets the white flag though. Might be an improvement on her first round, 13.01.
So an improvement, no doubt. Although we wait for confirmation. Does kind of do, well, behind the board, but kind of paused there, hesitated before clearance, takeoff. But still a better attempt than the first.
Significantly better attempt. It moves her into second position. 13.47 meters, wind assisted, 3.6 meters per second the wind speed. Will we get our first 14-meter effort here? Here's Akilah Smith. Looking businesslike, nice and tall down the runway. Again, pulls that left leg through late. Would love to hear the coaches on that technique. She gets the white flag. Not sure she pulled it all the way through on this second effort like she did on the first to join the right leg in the landing.
It didn't seem as smooth as the first effort. There she's a little bit conservative and takes off from behind the board. Still didn't abort the jump, goes through the motion.
Yeah, 13.95, so it is an improvement, and it's wind legal as well. Bang on the limit, 2.0 meters per second, the wind speed. So she gets closer to the 14-meter mark and extends her lead in the competition. Here's Jaden Dawkins now, the 20-year-old. Her second round effort fouled her first attempt. That looks close on the board, but it's a pretty good effort for Dawkins. The flag is red, though.
So another foul for Dawkins.
If she can get a legal mark, she looks like she's jumping around personal best territory or better. Yeah, very, very tight, but that's a foul.
Sure, she can make some adjustments to get that one. The run-up was more aggressive this time around. And she's having a look, being assisted there. No coach with her, but she has her device recording herself.
The great thing for her,
yes,
is that she doesn't have to panic, because she is guaranteed 6 attempts, because there are only 4 competitors in the field.
And some days you start your first attempt with your best effort, and some days you have to build into it, and we see improvements on the second attempts and so forth. So that's why they get 3 attempts to start and an additional 6 if they make the finals. Of course, only 4 ladies, so they'll all get 6 attempts.
You're listening to the voice of Danielle Dowie. She didn't do the triple jump,
but she did the long jump. Let's not forget that.
and she certainly spent a lot of time in Texas.
Not in those colors, but yes.
Not at A&M, but at Texas University.
The University of Texas at Austin.
There you go. Makeda Linton, Texas A&M, flying down the runway. And once again gets a red flag. So 13-11 to start her campaign, and now a foul second time around. We're going to be joined by another youngster who spent quite a bit of time in Texas. Although I'm not sure we can call him youngster anymore.
That makes me nervous because he's only 1 year above me.
And doing next, all good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. How are you doing today, my friend?
Doing pretty well, thanks for asking. And great to say I'm from the better side of Texas. Spent a great deal of time in Lubbock, the best city.
I don't know who you're trying to convince, but
Those who are listening and those who need to know, but it was great being there, but even better being here today with you two.
Well, you saved yourself. Good try.
so there
I'm not buying it, but good try.
Shante Foreign making an adjustment to her mark.
Yeah, 2 rounds all the way. They're just giving them that little bit of extra time because only 4 competitors in the field. And so good to see that they're not rushing the athletes through the rounds. And yes, it can be difficult because you look at Foreman, for example, her first jump was positive 1.8 and the wind kicked up on her second attempt, positive 3.6. Even worse for Akeelia Smith, who had negative 0.0 and positive 2.0. So it can prove a challenge for the athletes when the wind is swirling and, you know, picking up and dropping throughout the course of the competition.
Yeah, and again, that goes down to the design of the National Stadium. The oval-like design with the high walls at some point and low walls at others. Wind gets in and sometimes gets trapped in here. So the jumpers usually have a difficult time because sometimes even in the running motion, in the phases of execution, they end up battling with the wind. So they'll start and the wind is positive or negative, and then during the run the wind changes. So it is a difficult task, and that's why I love the jumpers, because it takes a lot of awareness to adjust on the fly, because sometimes you'll see it when they approach the board, some of them having to stretch to the board, some of them going over the board, even though they've done their practice runs. The wind really is a major factor.
And some may ask, why not then have this event a little bit later? Of course, the final track event, I think, scheduled for 7 o'clock today. And the men's long jump final is also on the schedule for today to start at 4:45. So it means that the long jumpers are likely to get better conditions, hopefully at least, because it can still be windy, certainly at 4:45 and all the way up to about 7. So conditions might not even be significantly better. If you look at the nationals over the years, when you've had big long jump fields and they've gone well into the night on a Saturday, a lot of the better performances come in the final 3 jumps. And a lot of the athletes take a while to get those big jumps in, and a lot of it is because of the conditions and how windy it can be at this time of the day and against the athletes most of the times as well. Shante Foreman getting ready to start round number 3.
She's improved on each jump so far. 13:01, 13:47.
Trying to add a national title to her NCAA crown. Settles herself in. Has had that pause-looking effect on her first 2 efforts as she gets to the board. There it is again. And once again, looks like it's going to be over 13 meters, but it doesn't seem as if the rhythm is quite there.
No, and the look on the face tells it all as well. Adjusted her run-up, made the changes, but right before she gets to the board, almost aborts it, hits the board well, but that hesitation was enough to take away from the whole effort.
You just feel as if she's not being as aggressive as she can be on the runway. 13.18, so it's not an improvement. Here is Smith now, the leader, trying to become national champion in the triple jump for the first time in her career. Already has 3 long jump national titles, including this one. Nice and composed down the runway. And that is a big effort. That could well be over 14 meters, certainly very close to it. 13.95, her best effort. And she continues to improve. She's jumping really well here.
Very quick down the runway, Akila Smith. Approaches the board, hit behind the board. Lots of room to spare, everything to spare, but very close to that 14-meter mark.
13.92. So not as good as her second round effort. Akila Smith, positive 3.5 meters per second, the wind speed on that one. Now here's Jaden Dawkins. She hasn't put down a legal mark yet. Failed her first two attempts. Down the runway with purpose. Feels for the board, finds it well this time, and that looks like a pretty good effort. She's gonna be pleased, I'm sure. She's had two very good jumps previously, but overstepping the mark, and this time around she gets the white flag. Did she? Yes, she did. Let's see, 13.67. And it's legal. It's a lifetime best for Jaden Dawkins. I did say she's looked in personal best form. And her 13.31 PB from January has been smashed here in a season where she's had limited competitions. This is a very good jump for Jaden Dawkins of K-State.
Comes back with a stronger effort. Didn't unfazed by the first two falls. Hits the board perfectly. And goes through execution. Lifetime best for Jaden Dawkins. Came in with 13.31. Improved her personal best to 13.67. Celebrates with her coach, Clive Pullin. As we have a look at Makeda Linton.
That puts her in the silver medal position. With 3 more rounds to go, Makeda Linton to now close the third round. They'll compete in reverse order for the remaining 3 rounds after this. Where will Linton finish? 13.11 in round 1. Failed her second round effort. This is her third round effort. Linton speeding down the runway. Another red flag for her. And so she will go into the final 3 jumps in 4th position.
Linton there, working herself down the runway. Falls that attempt. Not bad through the phases, but looks back and sees the red flag.